Hey everyone, how's it going? My name is James, this is Terry. We're both here from Soundline Christchurch. Terry has been doing Accuphase for the last 25 years, possibly even a wee bit more. So today we're going to talk to you about Accuphase, the brand, and the integrated amplifier lineup.
So I'm Terry, I'm one of the owners of Soundline Christchurch, and I've been involved selling Accuphase for about 25 years. It's a favourite brand of mine because it's a no compromise company. They engineer everything with a purpose. Obviously the main purpose is sound quality, but there's also other factors at play like longevity, reliability, serviceability with the brand. So today we'll talk about some of the highlights with Accuphase and the integrated range. So obviously by their selection of components that they use and the engineering team, knowing what they do, they have a very large number of engineers. Roughly, I think it's about 27, 28 engineers. It's a very high percentage of the workforce in the Accuphase factory. Probably the largest team in, the Accuphase headquarters. Yeah, so when you go to the factory, it gives you a real eye-opening experience. And one of the things why I think Accuphase is great value for money, because the attention to detail is that every Accuphase item is handmade. It is then checked and adjusted to meet or exceed the specifications which are set for that design of the amplifier against a reference point. And then it goes onto a shaker table to make sure that it has no loose connections and doesn't change in performance. And that's done for a reason where Accuphase don't want to ship a component to an end user and find that that amplifier doesn't play at the design specifications, or that end user is going to experience a fault. You know, for them, they want every item to be perfect for the end user. After that testing, it also goes into a sound booth where it gets checked again, it gets listened to, and then after that it gets verified and tested once more by an independent department at the Accuphase factory before it gets boxed and ready to ship to its owner. They design their amplifiers in particular with high quality transformers, obviously high quality parts that don't drift, will guarantee performance and specifications. And as you go up the range, you get more power, which will give you the ability to drive bigger speakers or in larger rooms, and you get that quietness that I touched on earlier. When you're looking at perfection, Accuphase is fortunate that it will actually play all music really well, and it will actually work with pretty much any type of speaker and any type of component. It's neutral, accurate, in phase. Yeah, we live in a world now where we're trying to make sensible decisions about wastage and recycling, things like that. An Accuphase product has a very long lifespan. It's engineered to try and last like 30 or 40 years and be serviceable. Our Accuphase have a very vast spare parts department if in the event you'll ever need to get it repaired. But I kind of see an Accuphase amplifier purchased and held for 30 or 40 years, whereas often people would own 4 or 5 amplifiers in that same period of time. So, a one-time purchase now actually works out as particularly good value when you consider what you're going to get. As you go up in the range, one of the things Accuphase is very good at is creating a quieter sounding product in its noise floor, so you get a lot more space, depth and dimension and delicacy. And delicacy is actually very, very difficult to achieve in audio product. It's one thing to be able to play loud sounds and play you information, but if you can create delicacy to instruments, maybe like in classical music, it's a very difficult thing for an audio company to achieve, and I think Accuphase have actually mastered that really well. The amplifier is the heart of the system, and these days integrated amplifiers are of a particular interest and desire for our customers. As homes have got smaller, amplifiers have had to be compressed in size. The days of us owning 2 and 3 box amplifiers aren't as relevant as what they are today. And over the years, Accuphase have been able to design the amplifiers to perform as good as the separate components, or very, very close to it. They've had the ability to be able to lower the noise floor, lower the distortion, increase the output. So there's no real need to rush out and buy a preamplifier and a power amplifier and have bulk cables and things. You can often achieve a very good result with an Accuphase integrated amplifier. So I'm going to show you a couple of the small details that Accuphase go to through this range that I like. As far as build quality and attention to detail goes, you'll get that through the entire range, whether it's at the bottom or at the top of the range. You get the same feel, so the owner gets a very desirable feeling product. You know, the volume controls all feel beautiful. They all feature AAVA technology, which is Accuphase's proprietary way of dealing volume, and it's a very significant technology that Accuphase have. It essentially becomes resistorless, and so there's no degradation of sound quality with using the volume control, particularly at lower volume levels. You can listen at a very low level, and the tracking between left and right channels is absolutely perfect. Okay, power buttons. This is a power button that is designed not to interfere with sound quality. It's electrically very safe. Most companies actually use a soft touch power button, but there's actually no way to design a power button without it interfering with sound quality unless you design a proper mechanical switch. So Accuphase, market pressure has said put a soft power button in there so it can be put on a remote control. This company will not do that because they can't give you the same performance sonically. Okay. Bass controls and treble controls are minor and stay very phase accurate. So if you are one of those customers that likes to listen to maybe say a bit of rock music and wants to just tweak a recording slightly, you can actually use bass and treble and not feel guilty about actually destroying the sound quality. Some manufacturers say, oh, you shouldn't have bass and treble controls because it should be the music as the artist intended. Well, you can have a bit of a tweak on this and you'll get a slight bass increase if that's what you want, or treble increase, but it's not going to destroy the recording. So a unique feature about this card idea with the modules, the MDC modules, is that if digital technology changes significantly in 5 years, say, you could take the 8050 digital card out and you could replace it with the newer version of the card, so it gives you some longevity. This amplifier is going to last a very long time. We all know that digital changes, so you could slot this card out and you could put a new card in, and then you'd have essentially a brand new system again.
Hey guys, so now I'm going to run you through Accuphase's integrated amplifier lineup. We have got 4 of the 5 models that they do here, starting with the E270 and ranging up to the E650. So I'll kind of just run through each one of them, maybe point out some of the differences between them and what you gain when you go up to the next model and how that would benefit your system. So starting off with the E270, you can see by looking at it that it's kind of the main one that stands out from the bunch aesthetically wise. It doesn't have the front fold down panel that the others do. It's got the knobs all out on display. The E270 has 4 line level inputs as well as a balanced input that you can use for a CD player with balanced outputs, or really anything that you want that has balanced outputs. It also has an option slot where you can put in a Accuphase MDC card, and that could be a phono card that does moving magnet and moving coil cartridges, or it could be a D to A converter which has optical, USB or coaxial SPDIF. And that's kind of something you'll notice when you go up to the 380. When you move up from this model to this model here, you get a second one of those, giving you the ability to kind of have everything nicely put into one package. You can have the really nice sounding amplifier, you can have the phono card built in, and you can have the D to A converter built in. So value for money, you'll probably find this is quite a nice sweet spot to be. This sounds really amazing, but if you think if you've got a slightly bigger room, or you want to have that additional slot to put that in there, moving up to this would be a really good step. So as you move through the range of these first 3, you're going to get a couple of things standard as you go up the level. Obviously you'll get an increase in power, so we have 90 watts per channel. You're going to get 120 watts and 160 watts respectively. You're also going to get that increase in damping factor, making the music a bit blacker, quieter, lower noise floor, and everything's going to sound a lot smoother. As I said before, when you move to the E380, you get that additional MDC slot that I talked about. You also get an additional balanced input, so if you have a CD player and a DAC, for instance, or a CD player and an Accuphase tuner that has balanced output, or really anything, you can have 2 sets of balanced interconnects going into this. Going up to the 480, this one, as we talk about, it's got more power, so if you've got some really thirsty speakers or quite a large room that you're trying to fill with a lot of music and play at higher levels without distortion, that would be a good upgrade to go for. So moving up from the E480 to the E650, this is their beginning model when we're getting into Class A. So Class A is a much more pure sounding type of amplification. It does run a wee bit hotter than Class AB, which is the downside, but the upside is it sounds so much better. The difference in sound quality between these two is quite significant, so if you're really chasing that pure, smooth sound, this would be the one to go for. Input-wise, they are essentially the same. They've all got two balanced inputs, a variety of line level inputs, and the dual MDC slots in it. The E650 is full Class A. Last year they only had this model as their Class A integrated amplifier. Now, 2020, they've got the new E800 that's just released. This one, I can tell you from listening to it, it makes all speakers sound amazing. There is quite a significant difference in sound quality between these two, and that's because of the different class of amplifier. All right, so something else to think about when it comes to these Accuphase integrated amplifiers is that all of the integrateds from the 380 upwards actually have really high quality headphone amplifier circuits built straight into them. So you don't need to go out and buy a third-party headphone amplifier if you're wanting to listen to some music a bit more intimately. You just need a nice set of headphones and a 6.3mm jack, plug it into the phone section, and that'll give you a really good sounding pair of headphones. Another cool feature of Accuphase integrated amplifiers, you won't find this on many integrated amplifiers of this caliber, but something that they decided to put in is speaker A and B, and it's selectable. So basically, most amplifiers will have one set of speaker outputs for your left channel and your right channel. The Accuphase integrateds all have two sets. The reason they do that is it means you've got a wee switch in here where you can choose to listen to speakers on either A rail or B rail, so you can actually choose and listen between what set of speakers you want to listen to, or you can have speakers in different rooms, or you could potentially even buy wire it if you want to use some really nice high quality speaker wires. You could have a set on this set of outlets and a set of speaker wires on this set of outlets. You can set it to off A, B, or A plus B. So you've got a lot of options on how you want to do it. It's a pretty cool feature and they all have it. Alright guys, well that has been our Accuphase integrated roundup. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you want to have a listen to any of these amplifiers or get the full Accuphase experience, give one of your local Soundline stores a call. They can arrange a demo for you. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Ka kite anō.